happy that you've joined me. So I'm just going to give it another couple of minutes and then we will kick off. I did this a couple of weeks ago on a whim. I'll tell you where this came from. And for those of you that don't know me, and I have got some slides to introduce myself in a minute to keep me on track, otherwise I go off on one. So for those that don't know me, I'm Claire Morton and I'm a high performance coach and also an author and a meditation teacher. And I've been in the world of personal development and human resources now for over 20 years, and I absolutely love what I do. I've done it for so long now, and I do try to practice what I preach, but I am only a human being, so we go through this human experience where we have ups and downs, highs and lows, and obviously we accept that. I accept that now. I'm not sure about you ladies. So over the last 12 months, since all of my corporate work disappeared, I ended up thinking, you know what, I've been coaching quite a lot of people privately, so let me go into coaching, and because coaching all different types of people, men, women, entrepreneurs, actors, lawyers, mums, kids, the whole shebang. So I wanted to niche it down this time to high performers, and people. To me, someone who's a high performer to me is someone who wants to make a difference in the world, someone who wants to leave the world a better place than how they found it. So that comes in all shapes and sizes, and we are all, we can all be high performers. We are all born with gifts. So this 6 steps to self-mastery was born from me, from all kinds of readings and trainings that I've been on over the years. And I came across a lady called Kim Morrison from Australia who has a company called it's 28, and she sells essential oils, but she's an athlete, she's an NLP practitioner, she's a coach, and she talks about these 6 steps, or these things that we need to do to make sure that we look after ourselves. So this is where International Women's Day week, I thought, you know what, all of the stuff, all of the creation, the design, the training that I've done over the years, I'm going to bring that together and put that into my own 6 steps of self-love and self-mastery. So that's what I've come up with tonight. So lovely to have you in here. I am just going to share my screen because I thought if I do it on slides, it will keep me structured, or you'll notice I will go on all evening. So feel free, ladies, to use the chat to make any comments. Also feel free, I think I've just got a few more people coming in, so can you see my screen? Could somebody just let me know because I can't, let me see. Can you see my screen, Denise? I can see Denise here. Yeah, okay, great. Fabulous. Not the most techie of people, but I do try. So yeah, we're going to start off with the 6 steps to self-mastery and self-love. It's a mouthful. So I'm going to crack on, and I'll let you know in good old trainer style and coaching style what is going to be covered in the next hour, because obviously I'm conscious that you're giving up your time tonight, but it's great that you're here, because obviously you might need to know some of this stuff to help you in your life, or you can pass it on to other ladies and even gentlemen in your life. So exploring the 6 steps to self-mastery, you're going to be discovering how to know what you can begin to learn and work out where you are in life. So it's going to give you a little map and get you to have a check-in of where you actually are and where you want to be. Because a lot of people who I speak to, students, clients, and people who I coach, they've never even thought about what their dreams are, or they've never been asked the question. So that's the beauty of being a coach. You get to ask people these questions that they've never even thought about before. And it's lovely when people have that realization on the face to say, oh, I've never thought about that, but I'd love to do this. And it's like, okay, so Why aren't you doing that? What's stopping you from living the life of your dreams? So hopefully that's what this is gonna start that for you. We're gonna quickly look at discovering growth mindset and see how it can help you succeed in all areas of your life, from physical, emotional, psychological, spiritual health through to your family, career, environment, and your community. And we're going to identify some techniques and tools that work for you, enhancing your self-awareness, self-care, self-discipline, that then ignites the self-respect, the self-trust, and the self-acceptance within you. So I'll talk a bit more about the steps and about the first 3 steps. When you get the first 3 steps right, then the last 3 steps of self-respect, self-trust, and self-acceptance will come from that. Okay, and then starting to draft a life plan to begin living the 6 steps on a daily basis so that you can cultivate a life of kindness to yourself, gratitude, wealth, and abundance, and be the creator of your own life. Okay, so hope that sounds good for the next hour. As I say, any questions, please feel free. I will stop to look in the chat, or you can, because the group's quite small, you can take yourself off mute if you want to ask a question or for me to recover anything, absolutely fine. Take notes, and then questions at the end is absolutely fine as well. Okay. First of all, I want to just do a couple of minutes of meditation with you. So being a yoga and a meditation teacher, the benefits of meditation and the whole point of me putting it at the start of this session is about, you may have already come home from work, or you've been doing something with the kids, or you've been busy making the tea and you've rushed online to listen to me for an hour. So what I like to do is in all my sessions, whether it's with students, clients, and even the kids and even corporates, is just get a little 2-minute meditation in, just to bring us into the present moment, focus on the breath, bring us into the session so that we can then absorb the learning that's going to take place. So if you want, I want you to just sit up where you are in your chair. Put your pens and papers down if you've got any pens and papers. If you've got noise going on in the house, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's something that you'll just notice with the sense of hearing. Don't worry. But if you can be free of distraction, that's great. So I'd like you to just sit here and just sit on a chair or sit on the bed, wherever you are. Put your feet flat on the floor and then placing your hands on your lap, or even on your stomach, because we're going to do some abdominal breathing. So I want you to just straighten up your back and put your head in line with spine. Your head can be loose. And then I just want you to lower the gaze or close your eyes. I want you to just then inhale through the nose, in through the tip of the nose. As you inhale, allow the breath to go into the pit of the stomach, the belly, and allow the belly to bloat out like a balloon. And then as you exhale, bringing the stomach back in towards the spine. And breathe in through the tip of the nose. Allow the belly to bloat up like a balloon. And then as you exhale, bring the belly back in. So just continue to do this. This is the way that we should breathe. Abdominal breathing, this is our normal state of breath. So breathing in. Belly rises, and as you exhale, the belly comes back in. And you can do this at any time, any point of day. If it's before a presentation in work, if it's before getting the kids ready for school, if it's when you're sitting in the car, obviously not with your eyes closed, but the breath brings us back into the present moment. So just continue into the abdomen. Exhale. And I want you to just notice how you feel right now. Just simply notice how you feel. Whether you feel tired, sad, peaceful, happy, hungry. Just notice how you feel. And we're not trying to judge it, we're just simply observing how you feel. And every time the mind begins to wander, just simply come back to the breath. And meditation is not about clearing the mind, it's about observing the mind. And when you sit with your thoughts and you just notice them and you watch them, and we are not our thoughts. Thoughts are things. So this takes us nicely into the session and into self-awareness, because this is the most amazing skill and tool that you can have as a human being, is sitting in this place with yourself and just reconnecting to your inner guide. So keeping the eyes closed, just stay here for a few more moments. Continue to breathe into the abdomen. And as I say, just notice how you feel tonight, and that's absolutely fine. We're not trying to judge anything here, just feel into that. Okay. And then when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Give yourself a little shake. Wake yourself up a little bit. So I hope that was nice for you. It's that easy grounding sensation of just to be a human being. We are so busy doing things, and we are not called human beings for a reason. We are supposed to be, and in this day and age, things are slightly too busy. So the power of meditation and the power of sitting with your thoughts and your emotions and noticing how you feel, or there's also neuroscience behind it as well, which I can go into on another masterclass on that, because we're not talking about meditation on its own tonight. But when you meditate and you build that skill of awareness and meditation, you are building and putting together the two hemispheres of the brain. So the left and the right brain are coming together. The logical side as well as the heart, the creative side, come together, because the bridge in the middle, the corpus callosum, grows bigger with practice. So it allows you to get your access to both sides of the brain to be able to respond to situations. So if somebody cuts you up in the road, if you're in a traffic jam, if you're late for work, or your boss asks you for a last minute report, rather than panic and going into fight or flight, we can simply just respond and go, okay, how do I do this? Let's access the brain and let me respond in a better way. And it allows us to connect to that creativity. There's masses of creativity in all of us. We are all creators. And I do teach is about getting out of that fight or flight mode and be instead of being frightened of things, and being a creator of your life, because we've all got a choice on how we respond to things. Sometimes it doesn't feel like we have, but we have got choices. Whether they are good choices or all bad choices, we have got choices. We are not stuck. And that's what I want to introduce you tonight as well, into this 6 steps. Okay. So hope you enjoyed that. Just wanted to give you some background of me. So this was me over about 6 or 7 years ago, mother of 3, working full time. I was a learning and development business partner, tired, anxious, depressed, if I'm honest. I was excessively drinking to quieten the mind and the thoughts. Obsessive behaviours like obviously taking photos and posting selfies on social media, using my phone a lot, or getting addicted to the gym, getting addicted to diet. And I have got quite an obsessive behaviour, and I disciplined myself in the wrong way, as well as a broken marriage and it falling apart at the seams at the time. And since obviously being in the world of personal development and working on myself, because I love to show you and people who I really am, because that was me. I'm taking the mask off. I'm not living up to anyone's expectations anymore, because I'm very comfortable with who I am. And then me now, I absolutely love myself. That sounds quite big-headed, but I mean that in a good way. I love me for who I am. I accept myself. I look after my health and well-being in most parts. I have set up my own business. That happened 4 years ago, my own training business. I am a high performance coach and meditation teacher. I practice yoga, I teach yoga, I use my skills. I have to practice what I preach, and don't get me wrong, I don't always do that. I do fall out of sync sometimes. I'm what you call a qualified NLP master practitioner, which is neuro-linguistic programming, which is all about the the thoughts in your head, the language you say to yourself and how you program yourself. So I use that technique to help people be able to change their thought patterns in their mind to be programmed to live a better life. I'm also a #1 best-selling author, which was crazy, and that happened last year because that was something that I didn't think was going to happen. But I was invited to collaborate on a book called The Successful Mind, and it was all about, my chapter's all about the spin on yoga, meditation, and how that helps us have more of a successful life. I'm a qualified Reiki healer, and I also brand new co-host in my own podcast with a good friend, Gemma Ray, who's a radio presenter, and it's called Honest to Gob. So if any of you have listened to that, I hope you've enjoyed it, because it's just me and Gemma talking about topics off the cuff, and it's unedited, and we literally just want to be able to talk about things. I think our next one on Friday is all about money, and we give our tips and our coaching experience at the end, but we have our normal conversation, and Gemma is really funny. I love spending more time with my family and friends and people I love being with, and I'm so much more open, honest, accepting and grateful, and the mask is off. I'm not walking around with the mask anymore, pretending to be someone that I'm not, trying to be the weight that I was always trying to be when I was like 30 or 25, and trying to, working in the job for the director that I didn't really like, and putting on a mask for someone that I didn't really want to work for. Everything about me, I don't know whether it's something about hitting your 40s where you grow this strength, but I want women to get this strength before their midlife crisis. I want that we should have this in school. We should have this resilience and this connection to ourselves as from an early age, and be able to respect ourselves and stand up for our values and not just live up to other people's expectations. So, hence this course. I want to bring you into the world of choice. As I said before, we have all got choices. They might not be good choices. There might be some easy ones. There might be some hard ones. But to know that you have a choice, you are not stuck, whether it's with the wrong partner, whether it's in the wrong job, the house move, your finances, a career change. There is so many things that you can do. And this will just be the beginning for you. And I'm guessing that some of the ladies in here have already got a growth mindset, because I know you. But this is a new concept to some people, but I always love to talk about it, because whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And when we dig into this is Henry Ford that says it, and it's right. So whether you think you can do something, whether you think you can't, you're right. But what's stopping you from thinking that you can do things? Because you can. Now, with this I'm hoping this is going to help you. It's going to give you some coaching and really dig deep into what you want from your life. This is the whole point of me doing this. Okay. So why is a growth mindset so important? There will be challenges that you will need to overcome. Everyday challenges, always. Big challenges, small challenges, but we will always have challenges, because that's the human experience. We have the highs with the lows. We have darkness with light. So it's always going to be inevitable. And you know what? Everything is temporary. So we have our good days and we have our not so good days. So yes, a growth mindset helps you get through those challenges. Sometimes you will feel like giving up. And God knows how many times I felt like giving up, especially with my business and the work that I've put in. And anyone who's an entrepreneur or a business owner on here, or even in the job, or even, being a mother, sometimes you just feel like giving up. But you can't, because you're here for a reason, and you get back up again and you keep moving. If you stop, you become stagnant and you'll become blocked with energy and you won't want to move. So you get up and you move. Your mindset will carry you through it if you nurture it every day. So I always talk about going to the spiritual gym. So we talk about mindset a lot now, you hear it more, and but for me, it's also about, yes, your mindset needs to be strong, but also your heart needs to be open. So this is the left and the right brain. So you've got the left, the logical side of the brain, and then you've got the right. Now, a lot of us are running on subconscious patterns from when we were kids, and we are always doing things with our left brain. So if you look at it with your two arms, and then you're pumping the left bicep muscle, and it's like, gotta do this, gotta go to work, gotta go to school, gotta get this done, gotta make the tea, and it's gotta get the money in. And you're constantly doing that logic. And then this side, this left, right brain muscle is not pumped as much because we've disconnected. So going to the spiritual gym and connecting with ourselves and doing things like meditation and journaling and affirmations grows this muscle. So you're pumping and you're connecting to the heart, and then the whole thing around creativity comes, and the whole thing around self-awareness comes. You will start to notice how you feel, how people make you feel, what thoughts you're having about certain people, good, bad, what triggers you. A lot of people are not aware, they're not awake at the moment. I'd probably say about 90% of the world are not aware, and they're in very low state of consciousness, which can be classed as, well, it's just unconscious. They're not conscious of anything. So this wakes us up. Growth mindset is huge. So in terms of, I wanted to give you a visual on this as well. I just need to get rid of that. Don't know how to get rid of it. Okay. How to change your reality. And this is something that a man called Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about. And it's about, if you have the same thought, you will get the same choices. You'll have the same actions and behaviours, which gives you the same experience, which then gives you the same feelings, the same emotions. That keeps you in the old state of being. And then that inspires that to go back in to having the same thoughts, the same choices, the same actions and behaviours, the same experience and the same feelings. So you will never change because you are having the same thoughts. So 90% of our thoughts every day are usually the same as the day before, and we are all operating from our unconscious mind, not our conscious mind. So when we become self-aware, which is step one to self-mastery and self-love, and we are aware of what we're saying to ourselves, we're aware of the choices that we're making, we're aware of the behaviours, then we start to change. If there's a thought that we're having that doesn't serve us, then we can reframe that thought, we can change it. And we can say, okay, if I say to myself, I'm going to have a bad day today, guess what? I'm going to have a bad day, and it's going to bring me the same choices, the same actions, behaviours. I'm going to be looking for the negative stuff. Everything's going to go wrong. I'm going to go to bed with the same feelings, and that's going to inspire the same bad day again. But if we're aware of our thoughts, because the thought always sparks the emotion, we can change and say, I'm going to have a great day today. There's affirmations, there's things that we can say to ourselves, and what am I going to achieve today? What mindset am I going to have today? What am I grateful for today? That then allows you to have new choices, and then new actions and behaviours will come out of you that day. You will see things differently. You'll then have good, new, positive experiences that then give you new, good feelings, that then inspires that whole thing about going back to go, I've had a great day today. Oh, what did I do today? Okay, I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do that again tomorrow. So you're either in a vicious circle or a virtuous circle. And when you become conscious of your thoughts in step one, self-awareness, that's when you change. That is when the magic happens. Okay. So these are the 6 steps. You've got 1, self-awareness. I'm going to take you through these, just a couple of slides for each one so that you're getting into the grasps of it. But for you to get to the top 3, self-respect, self-trust and self-acceptance, you need to work on these first. So self-awareness, 1, self-care, 2, self-discipline, 3. If you do these 3 things and you work on them 3 things and you make the effort to look after yourself, The self-respect, the self-trust, and the self-acceptance and the love will come. But this is how we do it. Okay. I'm just going to see, has anybody got any questions? Just looking in the chat. Okay, Denise, that's fine. No worries. I'm recording this anyway. I love that you start to say, love me. Thanks. I do actually. Sometimes I don't, but most of the time I do love me. I just, you have to accept yourself. People say about me that I keep moving forward, whatever is thrown at me. Yes, you do, Emma. Absolutely. Self-discipline is the hardest bit. Okay, well, let's see, Cassia, what we can do with that tonight. Right. So we're going to start. I've already started you off on self-awareness, but I want to just give you a little bit more about it and then we'll move on to the others. So self-awareness, it's a noun and it's conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motives and desires and how we handle them, plus the knowledge of our effect on others and the recognition of others' feelings and how we handle them. So it's quite a big one. But some people are born aware and quite in touch with themselves and the world around them. Others are not. It's a skill. It's something that we have to build. So meditation for me is huge. It allows me to go inside because I'm an extrovert in my human design. Everything is outside of me. I'm plugged into the outside world. Whereas when I go in, it took me a good few years to get into the practice of meditation. But when I understood what it actually gave me and what it did for me, then it gave me the motivation to do it more. And now it's a daily practice and now I absolutely love it. And it's like having a bar of chocolate basically to me because I know what it gives me. It tops me up. It tops up my inner guide and my source. So if you notice how self-aware are you of how you feel, what your thoughts are, what your motivations and your desires are, what are your dreams, and also how do you handle them? Do you let them come out? Do you share them with people? Do you hide them? And how do you affect others? Have you ever noticed how you affect others when you walk into a room? Do you light them up or do you drain them? Or just notice. And also recognise other people's feelings and how do you handle them. So it's not just about being aware of yourself, it's about being aware of the environment around you. And again, we probably all know people who are quite self-aware. We might work with one or it could be someone in the family, but they'll always be present with you. They'll be listening to you. Their presence is there. You'll feel their energy. They're people who are, when you start working on your self-awareness, your vibration, your energy is so high that you attract like-minded people. And some people will be repulsed by it as well because they're just not ready for it. They're just on a lower soul level. So this is huge, and this is step one. And honestly, if you do this, and I'm going to tell you how to do it, this is where the magic happens if you're not already doing it. I know some of you already are. So how can you develop your levels of self-awareness? There are questionnaires and there are self-assessments out there. There is one called Myers-Briggs. That's something else that I do, Myers-Briggs personality profiling. You can get a free test. I can send you the link, post the link in the chat in a minute, called 16 Personalities. That will help you with your self-awareness. Feedback from partners, family, friends, trusted members of your team who you work with, peers and managers. I mean, when I worked in the corporate world, we were always doing engagement surveys, 360-degree feedback, because it was always good for us to know what people thought of us, because everyone's perception's different. But when you ask for their feedback, go to someone who you know is going to give you honest answers, not someone who's just going to tell you what you want to hear. Because self-awareness is about getting feedback on your blind spots and on the stuff that you don't know that you do, and on some of your weaknesses as well. But it's absolutely fine because it's just people's perceptions, but it's really upgrading your level of awareness. There's feedback that you can do, which I've talked about if you're in work, but the big one, what I've already gone on about, is reflection and meditation. Journaling your thoughts and feelings, so physically feeling that cathartic experience of writing things down. Just 1-2 minutes a day of a morning, get your thoughts on paper, just let them come out, come down your arm and onto that notepad, and empty your head. It doesn't have to be positive. It can just be brain dumping. It's just literally just write your thoughts in a book for 2 minutes. Time yourself, just do it for 2 minutes and stop. And then over time you might like it and you'll do it a little bit more. But journaling, meditation, affirmations all help you go from the unconscious mind into the subconscious mind, which is 95% of the time what runs the behaviors. So the more that you practice, the more that you do these things, personal development books, videos, documentaries, you will keep enhancing your personal development and growth, and you will get such a buzz. And again, some of you will already do this, so please share in the chat if you do, and any books or information that you want to share with people. Right, okay. So I'm obviously going to share this presentation with you as well. I can send it to you, but just for 1 minute, I want you to think about on your own, how can I become more self-aware? What might trip me up? So what might trip you up? What might stop you from doing it? Could it be your ego and you don't want it bruised? Could it be you don't know who to ask? Could it be you're scared of what's going to happen? What I can't control versus what I can control. And this is huge. And this is something I'll talk about in self-discipline in a minute. And then what steps am I going to take to develop my self-awareness? So just write them down. You don't have to do that now, but these are some questions that you can really think about to say, what can I do to be more self-aware? What might stop me? And what can I control versus what I can't? And give yourself some plans and some commitments that you're going to do it. This is where the self-discipline needs to come in. Okay, I'm just going to check the chat. Journaling in the morning. Yeah, it works for the majority of people. I would definitely say as a coach and a meditation teacher, I'm all about doing 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the afternoon to get you to that highest level. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon. It could be 5 minutes meditation, 5 minutes journal, but just at least 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the afternoon. Yeah, Emma, if it works for you at night, that's fine. I would definitely suggest trying 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon. Other people's energy can sometimes trip me up. Yeah, that's a good one, Claire. Because we can be on different frequencies. So it could be that you might want to ask someone for feedback, but then you go, oh, I don't know. I'm a bit uncertain because I don't know how to take them. Your family, okay. Brilliant. Okay, so that's self-awareness. That's step one. That is, if you're going to take anything from this, that's what you need to start working on. How can you become more self-aware? How can you be more conscious of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and how you affect others? And then step two is all about self-care. So who here looks after themselves and takes time out for self-care? And there's some questions. So these are, again, you can either take a screenshot, a photograph, or write them down, because self-care looks like different things to different people. Okay, some of us will do it quite a lot if we're conscious of it because we know it helps us. Some of us might not do any because we think it might be a little bit selfish. But how do you take care of yourself? And this is if you think about the wheel of life and you think about your physical health, how do you take care of that? How do you take care of your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your financial health, and also your career, your occupational health? And how do you take care of your home environment? And what do you do in your community? Because a lot of people find that when they start looking into this type of stuff, that they get a real buzz or they get satisfaction from doing stuff in the community, working as part of a group and giving and saving. So even that type of stuff, that can even be a bit of self-care as well, because it's making you feel good, as long as you're not pouring the care out to everybody else and you're not filling up your own cup. So what does self-care look like to you? How do you take care of yourself in all them areas? Notice what, who and where places make you feel good. And then what, who, where, and of places can drain you as well, because certain people can, certain places can. Even a room in the house can drain you when you know it's got loads of clutter in, and it's all that thing about clearing it out, clearing out the clutter, getting rid of it, and taking that time out to even do stuff like essential oils and self-care rituals, massaging every single part of your body and paying appreciation to the parts of the body. Again, this Kim Morrison, who I mentioned earlier on, every morning, I've started doing this in the last 2 weeks, when I get a shower, get some essential oils, mix them in, and then just massage from top to toe to head. It takes about 2 minutes, and just thank every part of the body for what it gives me and what it does for me. And it really does invigorate you for the day. And again, that's a little bit like it's a micro moment of meditation, because you're being present with your body. Bubble baths, candles, walks, walking the dog, sitting with your dog. There's so many things, journaling, meditation, relaxation, going to get your nails done. If that's what you want. I think some people go, oh, meditation, getting nails done, facials. Yeah, that's good, but does it really relax you? Because it's nice to get them done, but it's not just all about that. It's about what's going on inside as well. Self-care is not selfish, it's necessary, because if you don't look after yourself, you can't look after others. And so a question I like to ask is, does your diary have a self-care ritual in it each day? And if it hasn't, you need to get something in there. Half an hour to an hour each day. Walk the dogs, bubble bath, eat healthy lunch, dance in the kitchen, something what you love, play a good piece of music. Vicky's on here, isn't she? Singing your heart out. Whatever gives you that feel-good factor and you know that you're looking after yourself. Okay, Fran, yeah, you need self-care, especially at your time, and maybe it's asking for that help if you can, to make sure that somebody could just take, it's an hour, 30 minutes, an hour, or getting up that little bit earlier to have that time to yourself, or have that little time to relax. Started having my nails done and thinking why I shouldn't. I don't spend an hour not doing anything, struggle to do it first. Yeah, if you want to get your nails done, get them done, because you're worth it. If you want to get something done, get it done. Okay, Kelly, yeah, so we need to care for ourselves. We really do. It's not even something that you can say, oh, it's negotiable. You have to do it. Walking the dog's been a great stress relief. Oh, the energy that dogs give off is amazing as well, and just walking outside. Weather's getting better too. Singing is amazing, absolutely, Vicky. Yeah, love it. Okay, so you've got to get something in your diary. What do you love doing? Put it in your diary. I'm going to give you... So there's some tips. Practicing gratitude. 3 things at the end of every day that you're grateful for. I've been doing that now with the kids for the last 2 years, and we love it. And it rewires the brain. You go into bed on a positive. Breath work, yoga, meditation, mindfulness, grounding, connecting, walking on grass, hugging trees and all that stuff. It's real and it works because of the energy and the electricity that we give off and the trees and the ground gives off. We are all connected. Affirmations, which I've got some for you later. Visualizations, visualizing yourself in a really good space, wherever, taking yourself off to your happy place, if it's that favorite place on holiday. The mind and the body doesn't know what the mind isn't doing. So you can think of something and the body will think that you're there. It reacts to the mind. Hence why a lot of people who are stressed, worrying about the future, speculating on the future, it causes suffering. So the body goes into stress and it sends the signals and the chemicals through the body to put it into disease. So that's why people that stress and heart disease are the 2 number 1 killers and the main worries right now. But they are all coming from what we're telling ourselves and what we're putting in our bodies. So this is huge. Nourish your body. So essential oils and food. making sure that you're eating really good food, because you deserve to eat good, clean food. We've been brainwashed with this food and fast food and takeaways over the years. Even I was talking about this with someone the other day, that cereal, the myth around eating breakfast is the best meal of the day, that's only come from commercials and cereal years ago. We don't have to eat of a morning, and it definitely doesn't have to be cereal that we eat, but we've been brainwashed to believe that. So looking at what's good for your body, and eat when the body's ready to and it's hungry. Relax, make positive connections. So go out and meet people, go and network and meet new people. So there's that saying, every stranger's a friend that you haven't met yet. So, and I think right now it's exactly what people need. And I've got, obviously you can see my dog, one of my dogs there, Nuka. Get a dog or a pet if you can. They are just the best therapy. She knows when I'm not right, and she comes over, sits on me and cheers me up. Nearly knocks me over in the meantime as well, but she's just amazing. I love her to bits. Okay, so that's step 1, self-awareness. Step 2, self-care. Step 3 is self-discipline. And this is probably the one that we're all guilty of the most if we pass the other 2 steps. And this is about the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses. But it's also about, let me just get this on. I found this saying a while ago, I can do hard things, and it's a quote from someone, but I can't remember who it is. But when I find, it's a bit like an affirmation. So when I find something that I've got to do something and I'm procrastinating on it, or it's something that maybe I'm not as highly skilled, I'm not as skilled in, like tech or something like that. I'm probably delegated, to be fair, but if I've got to do something, I tell myself I can do hard things. And then do the Mel Robbins 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just go and do it. Just give yourself the 5 seconds and just go and do that thing that you need to do, because you'll sit and worry and fester and think about it all day, and you just need to go do it. But self-discipline to some of you ladies might be something that you have really high. I know it's something what a lot of people don't have, but some people think the word discipline is seen as like a punishment. But you can look at it as a sense of promise to yourself for getting something done. Promising yourself that you're going to get up that extra 15 minutes in the morning to be able to do that meditation, or to have that cup of tea on your own before the house wakes up. Promising yourself to go and do that workout that you said you were going to do last night. Promising yourself that you're going to eat that healthy food and you're not going to face plant the cake after your dinner if you've had the calories for the day. Promising yourself that you deserve whatever you want as long as it's good for you, and you can do hard things. So if you look at that as a promise or a commitment to yourself because it's going to make you a better person or make you feel better at the end of it, then great. It just do it, just go and do it. So when you've realised as well that we've all disciplined ourselves into poor habits, so disciplining ourselves into smoking, drinking, going on our phone, we've disciplined ourselves into going on that. We keep doing it. We keep doing it. So it's a case of, okay, well, yeah, I might drink on a weekend on a Friday, Saturday, and I feel rough on the Saturday, Sunday, and I have to go to buy the drink. I then have to drink it, and then I feel rubbish the next day if I've overdrank. You've disciplined yourself. You've got yourself into a pattern, so you can discipline yourself in the other way. So it's noticing what that word means and about making the promise to yourself to get that thing done. Something that might help you here is to ask yourself, what dreams do you have here? So when you are going to do something that you might not want to do and the self-discipline does need to kick in, it's going back to the whole reason why you're doing it. And so is it a big goal? Is it to lose weight, to make more money, to go for a better job, to move house, to go to meet a new partner, whatever it is, to work on a new project? What's the dream? and state the dream and what's the end goal and visualize it and what markers are along the way to help you get there in that time. And what do you say to yourself? So notice your language of what you say to yourself when that you're going to do this hard thing. So if it is to go for the other job, what do you say to yourself? I'm going to go for that job and I'm going to get it. Or, I'd like to go for that job, but I probably won't get it because I'm not good enough and I'm not worth that money on the advertisement of the job. That's what a lot of people do. They look at the salary of a job, and because they go, I'm not worth that, I'm not going to go for it. And then you'll see someone else get the job and go, I could have done that job. Well, the thing is, they've disciplined themselves, they've believed in themselves, and they've gone for the job. And you're sitting there going, I can do that job, and I didn't go for it because I didn't discipline myself or believe in myself to go and do it. So notice what you say to yourself. Because I know loads of people, and you're probably all guilty of it, I used to be, every time you fail on a diet, I'm going to start Monday. And it literally could be Tuesday, and you say, I'm going to start on Monday. Why not start tomorrow? Why not start Wednesday? So notice what you say to yourself, and because you're going into those old patterns that have been laid up for you subconsciously over the years. And instead of saying, I have to do this, changing it to, I get to do this. And that whole connotation, the language in that helps you feel more positive about it and more grateful and thankful that you get the chance to do this because someone, somewhere in the world has not got that chance to do this anymore. Okay. And then tapping into your reserves on self-discipline. So thinking about where you are in life and where you can soften focus right now. So if you are focusing on quite a few things, maybe take your foot off the brake on a couple of things and really focus on what you need to do. And dealing with setbacks can be taxing mentally, physically, financially and emotionally. The last 12 months for most people has been crazy in terms of money, losing work, losing people that they love, worrying about catching COVID, getting COVID, masks, vaccines, the economy. Before that was Brexit. So, but again, it's if we live in this present moment and we are aware of how we think and feel and how stressful we're making ourselves, just know that if I have discipline and I practice my meditation or I practice my self-care, I'm all right. I'm absolutely fine. Right here, right now, we're all okay. Every single one of us, which in the present moment, we're okay. And to know that this is David Goggins, I don't know whether you've read his book, it's really good, an ex-Navy SEAL. And he says he lives by something called the 40% rule, which says when your mind is telling you when you are done, you're only really done 40%. So get back up and show up. I've got some questions there as well that I use. It's from the book, but I always use them when I'm stuck and I am wanting to establish goals and why I am disciplining myself. And this gives you a little bit into your why. So who is important to me? And state, obviously, yourself should be one of them because a lot of people don't write themselves down. But yourself and the people who are important in your life. What's important to me? What do I want to do? What do I want to be? And what do I want to have? So there's some really good questions to help you on your path of your goal and your dreams to keep that self-discipline pumped up. Okay, I'm just conscious of time. So the first 3 steps, I'll read self-awareness, self-care, self-discipline. Get them 3 right, and then these 3 come: self-respect, self-trust, and self-love and acceptance. So self-respect is pride and confidence in oneself. This is from the dictionary. A feeling that one is behaving with honour and dignity. And so when you look at respect, and it's fascinating in other cultures, in in the Maoris and indigenous cultures, and in America, Northern America, with the Indians, they ooze self-respect. They have so much respect for their tribe that it's about them honouring and the dignity that they give out, and they serve, and they are all one, they're all part of each other, they're all part of their energy, their connection. So they are pure, they just respect each other. They respect each other's power, they respect each other's personality, their values, they respect the traditions of life, and don't force anything on. They just honour, and it's with dignity. And it's amazing if we can look at history and different tribal cultures, what that gives us. And then what does respect mean to you? And do you have high self-respect, or do you have low self-respect? So by you looking at where you are in terms of respecting yourself, where are you as well in respecting others? Because it comes both ways. You know, you have to give respect to get respect. Respect starts with you. So looking at other cultures and studying that, and just noticing where you are, giving yourself respect. Someone who's got high self-respect will stand for who they are. They will be confident in who they are. They know their values. They know what they're here for, and they will go about their life's mission to do that, but with respect for other people, and not forcing stuff on other people, but with a confidence of what they believe in. So this is huge. And as I say, if you do the first 3 steps, you'll get the self-respect. And there's so much more we can do on that. And then there's just some quotes there from some gurus and famous people. All of what I've said, I won't read them all, but if you want to take a photo, you're more than welcome. It's massive. This is huge, and this is something that people haven't got, because they haven't got the other 3. They don't practice the other 3 before this. Once you get the self-respect, the self-trust comes, and you start believing in yourself. So trust, when you trust in other people or things, it's a firm belief in the reliability, the truth, or the ability of someone or something. So we all have people that we trust. We all have people that we work with that we trust. We've got friends and family that we trust. We tell them all our secrets. And then there's people that we won't tell everything, and we have like a little bit of trust. They know certain things, but they don't know everything. But then we have self-trust as well. And it's a firm belief in yourself and being reliable on yourself, know your truth, and you know that the capability and the ability in you. So when you know this and you believe in yourself and you trust yourself to go and do things and live the life of your dreams, or do what you want, move to where you want to move to, go for the job that you want to go for, you know, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be anything massive or major, just you living your life and trusting yourself to live the life that you want to lead. And it starts with you. I've got a quiz, so I will also put that, I'll post it in the Pink Link Ladies event, and I'll post it in the chat in a minute for you to download the chat if anyone wants to download it. And I'll also post it in the Facebook group, because I know some of you have come from the Facebook group. So there's a quiz that you can do to ask yourself where you are on that. But looking at what is low trust versus what is high trust is always a good one. What does trust and self-trust look and feel like to you? Stephen Covey's written a brilliant book. It's been out for a long time, and it's called The Speed of Trust. And he talks about, in any relationship, when you've got trust, everything happens quickly, because the trust is there, the transaction happens quickly. So whether it's in business or it's in relationships, when trust is there, things happen faster. And he talks about the 5 waves of trust, and the first wave, where it comes from, is you, and then it goes out into your relationships, into work, into society, and that way. And it's a really, really, really brilliant concept. And again, that's something I touch upon in my teachings. And then it's reliable. It's about do what you say you're going to do to yourself. So when you promise yourself you're going to do that workout, or you'll promise yourself you're going to go for that job and go and get your CV done, or you're going to promise yourself you're going to spend more time with the kids or the partner, do it. Be honest, be truthful, and promise yourself. And the trust will be there. When the trust is given, the trust comes back. And then this leads us lovely and nicely onto self-acceptance. When we just accept ourselves, accept our gifts and our strengths, know what our gifts and strengths are, and that we accept them, and then we show them to the world instead of hiding them away. Show them to the world and share them and serve, and know what your limitations are as well and what your weaknesses are, and don't try to be something that you're not for someone else. Go with what you want, not what other people have told you. And to let go of what you can't control versus what you can. So, can you control the size of your arse? Possibly by losing weight and maybe doing some squats, or whether you want to make it bigger, do more squats. Can you control the weather? No. Can you control other people? No. Can you control your mindset? Yeah, you can. Whether if you can think bad thoughts and negative thoughts, you can think good thoughts. It's just rewiring the brain. It's called neuroplasticity, and meditation and personal development does it all. So move on and set yourself free. Get up, move, and move to where you want to be. It doesn't have to be big steps. You can take baby steps, but keep moving. Don't stay stagnant. Keep moving, keep doing it, and believe in yourself. And when you accept yourself, everything else falls away. Everything else falls away, and your energy lifts. You attract what you're putting out, and people will start coming into your life that you've not known before, or people you haven't seen for years, with a higher energy, because you're like a magnet. You're pulling them in and you're sending it back out. We are all human beings. We are all energy. And I know some people might not be spiritual or woo-woo, but the quantum physics, the science, the neuroscience is here. It proves that if we do this self-inner work, we raise our vibration, our electromagnetic field comes out, and we attract more. It's massive, it's huge, and I love it, and I get so excited by talking about it. Okay, so just to finish off, because I'm conscious of time, so I can't see the blinking thing because of the tab at the top. This is what I call the results cone, and it's just a lovely little insight into say, you have an insight or a thought. Sorry, you have an insight that's come from the subconscious mind that creates a belief or a thought. That then creates a behaviour that then affects your result. So going back to, if you have a good belief or a good positive thought or a healthy positive thought, that will come out in your behaviour, and then it will come out in your results. Going back to the negative side, you've had something bad happen to you, so you always believe it to be bad, will then give you negative to poor, bad behaviour, which will then give you the same results. So it's about changing from your old being to your new, and to know that you can change your results when you change your thoughts. So going back to that model, what I said before, go from old state of being to a new state of being. And you can do that if you follow these steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. They are the foundations that gives you self-respect, self-trust, self-acceptance, and lead you to self-love and mastery. And then you're just unstoppable. You can do whatever you want. Whether that's making millions, having 20 children, or living a life in a nice simple job, or going to live on a farm, live in the mountains. Mine is living in the mountains or going to India and selling coconuts on a beach. If I'm honest, that's my aim. That's where I'm going. Okay, quickly, I will just leave you with this slide before going on to my last one. Notice this is something that I have in other sessions about the chattering monkey. Notice the chattering monkey, the thoughts in your head, because they accompany us every day, 95% repetitive, and does nothing to practically move our lives forward. It's by and large negative. It's the carrier of labels, judgments, and conceptualized past and future. And we confuse this voice for who we are when it's not. So this goes back again to self-awareness. It's absolutely key. So some top tips for you to take away. You've got these questions, really good questions. I would meditate and think about these, who is important to you, these 5 questions here, and journal on them, and do them every 6 months, because they might change. And then you've got some tips around self-care. Take responsibility for your life, because it's your life, no one else's. No one owes you of anything. The only person that you can look after you is you. Adapt and accept to things. surrender and let go. Stay positive, but also when you're having a bad day, feel into it. You've got to feel it to heal it. Smile and meditate, keep showing up and surround yourself with positive energy, which is hence why the likes of the people in this group, the girls in my Facebook group, the Successful Kindset, the Pink Link Ladies, there's so many great supportive networks out there. We need to support each other and really encourage each other and have that push of, well, why not you? Why can't you do that? Yes, you can do that. You can do anything you want when you put your mind to it. Okay, so there's the piece now. So on the back of all this, obviously I have got this as a free masterclass, and I want to offer a free one-to-one session with me for anyone who attended this session. So if you want to book in a free coaching session with me for an hour, this is only on till the end of March. I'm going to put my Calendly link in the chat now, but if you want to make a note of it, it's here. And also the other thing is I've made this 6 steps to self-mastery into a 6-week course, which starts on the 31st of March and includes workbooks, meditations, guided meditations, support from me, a copy of my co-authored book, The Successful Mind. So you'll get a copy of this book, which is amazing. It's got some amazing tips in it, and an accountability group to get yourself on track. It's yours for life because it's a course that you can keep, so you've got lifetime access to it, and you can also pay in 2 parts. So if you're interested in that, if you want to change your life, it's £199, which is a really good price and investment to do this. Because this is a new course, I want to offer it for that price. It will go up after that when I release it, but I would love to have as many people on this as I could to get the feedback and traction on it and to spread the message. But if any of you ladies would like to just book the free session in with me, the one-to-one, we can look at that and then we can talk about the course in there, or you can book on because the link is there to go and do it right now if you want to. So I am now going to come back to the chat. Oh, thank you, Claire. That's happening to me at the minute, me too. I still fail, unfortunately. Okay, so you have to make sure that you work on you. You have to. I'm going to stop the share. So, has anybody got any? I'm conscious some people have to go, and that's absolutely fine. I just want to share this Calendly link with anyone that does have to go, so that they do have the chance to book in a one-to-one with me. As I say, this is what I do. I always offer everyone a free coaching session, no obligation to just start looking at their life. So if you want to save that link and go in and you can book with me, and I will put the Thrive cart link on there. But has anyone got any questions or like to share? Because I'm fine for time if anybody else is.
I did a can you hear me now? I did a thing today of stupidly I had some clients last week who ended up in hospital with COVID, and she was really poorly, intensive care and all the rest of it. So I thought, be nice, let's some flowers from Marks Spencer's. Did them on the Tuesday, arriving on the Friday. What happens on the Friday? They're only coming up to my house, aren't they, and not to the house in Birmingham. No. 2 hours on the phone to a DPD who were going to take them back, then they weren't. Marks Spencer's were doing the same, and then they realised it's perishable goods, so they weren't even going to go anywhere with them. And then all weekend I kept them in the box and thought, there's bound to be somebody I need them for, to be send them to. Do you know what I mean? And then it got to today, and I thought, no, I'm actually worthy of them flowers, so I'm actually going to keep them. But it took me 3 days. Well, I got them Saturday, and where are we, Tuesday? It took me 3 days to actually believe that, yes, I should be worthy of them, rather than, I was nearly going to give them somebody else. And I thought, no, why shouldn't I have them? Because I got flowers in my house. It was just the fact that I thought, I've got enough flowers. But yeah, why shouldn't I keep the ones?
Exactly, and it's that whole self-worth thing, because when we look at, oh, we'll get that for someone, we'll give that to someone, and we feel a little bit guilty about treating ourselves, and we shouldn't, because why shouldn't you have them flowers?
Yeah,
Why are you looking at pushing them out again, giving them out to
yeah,
someone else? And it's that whole, okay, I'll have them. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy them.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
totally get that.
just lately, bizarrely, but just lately, I've given three lots of flowers out to people, and within 10 minutes, people have given me some flowers from a different person. I think this still, since they're doing the meditation, I just do it daily now. It's like, right, the dog knows, put your voice on. She either sits on my knee or so she sits on the sofa waiting.
Oh, that's lovely.
Or unless she starts to play up and just think, oh, for God's sake, I'm trying to listen here. But yeah, it's definitely making a difference to me. So
And thanks for sharing that, Emma. Emma did my last meditation course, and I'm on to my next one now, which is on a Monday night, and then my next one's the 19th of April. But I'm going to do one where it's like all just videos and audios, and people have got that to keep as well. You know, like an evergreen course, so that people just buy it and they do it whenever. I know with the other one you can. See you, Julie. Lovely to have you on. All right. I'll say thanks so much, Claire, for your time. Great insight tips. Looking forward to being on these steps. I've got another Zoom now. Oh, thanks, Rachel. Lovely to have you on. Thanks for coming. See you later. Bye. Oh, but thanks for sharing that, Emma. It's been nice to have everyone on. Really appreciate it. Has anyone got any other questions, any insights, or anything they want to share? Any other tips as well? Because obviously you might have tips to help other people as well.
just ask, you had step 3, on the screen, and I was writing it down. Can you pop it back up so I can finish writing it down?
Yeah. Let me send it to you. Do you want me to send it? I'll send it.
Well, no, I've already done everything else. It was just nearly finishing step 3.
What was it?
Tap into your reserves. It was just the third bit of that. I was on the last bit, and I wanted to.
That was in self-discipline, wasn't it? Yeah. Tap into your reserves. Yeah.
Just at the bottom, and when you're just writing it down.
Yeah. Got that. So I'll just share the screen. Can you see it?
Yeah, there you go. Now, can I ask, your 6-week course?
Isn't it showing? Sorry. Yes.
6-week course.
Yeah.
What day is it on? No.
Sorry, I haven't put. Oh yeah, the 31st of March. So it's a Wednesday, and the reason for me doing this is because it's spring the next day. So it's all about springing into action. It's a new season. So that's why when I thought about when I was going to launch it, I was going to leave it a little bit later and thought, you know what? No, I'm just going to push it and put it out there again. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm putting it out there and putting myself out there and saying this is the course I'm doing, and who wants to do it. I know I've got some people who I've worked with who are going to sign up to do it, some absolutely gorgeous people. We always get lovely ladies on these courses anyway. So I'm dead excited, but that was my reason. And if you can't make every Wednesday, I'm going to record the sessions, the trainings, because each step will be over the 6 weeks, and then there's going to be an accountability group, like a Facebook group where we can share things, and then we'll have like a coaching call. So if anyone's struggling, I'm going to open up my Zoom room one night in the week and say, right, anyone needs any help, anyone struggling with anything? And then I'll do some guided meditations in the Facebook group as well to get people into meditation, because that is just huge. Can you see that slide now?
Yes, thank you, lovely.
Okay. Fab. Okay. Anybody else? Any other ladies got any insights or questions that you want to ask? It's lovely to have you on, Fran. It's lovely to see you in. And hi, Fiona. Feel free to take yourself off mute, and if not, that's it. If you don't know how to share keep the chat, because I've put the links in the chat. I will also send anyone, if you want to message me, I can send you the PowerPoint, or I can post it in the group, and I can send you the other questionnaires as well, what I mentioned. But for you to start doing this now, especially with it coming into spring, the next season in your life could be completely different. Ooh. Are you done, Em?
No, just on the last line.
Fab. Okay. So when you're done and no one else has got any questions, we're done. Let me just check the chat. Hi Fiona. Bye, Heidi.
Sorry, can I just ask the presentation you've just done, would that be recorded, did you say?
Yeah, the sessions, yeah. Yeah, everything. So it's
time to invite friends, but I know a few colleagues would be would like to watch it, I think.
yeah. So I can anything that I do, I can share by recording. So if you need that, I can share that. Thanks, Kelly. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Also, I don't know if I think all of you are in my Facebook group. Kelly, I don't think you are. No, I've got a Facebook group. I'll send you the link for it called the Successful Mindset. So if you want to come in there and you can just be part of that, that's just a free community where I go in and I do meditations once a week, and we just post in there just to as a nice place to be, really.
Great, thank you.
Fab. Okay, any more, ladies? Any more questions? I would appreciate you coming on. It's been fabulous. Let's see, Fiona, thank you. Will be fab to get the slides. Question is great insight and starting point. Yeah, lovely, Fiona. Lovely to meet you again. Hopefully meet you in person soon. Hopefully to meet everybody in person soon. Okay, I'm going to go if I'm done. Thanks, Fran. See you soon. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Okay. Right, I will see you. I will see you in the group. I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.